Once upon a time, the goal of any main character in an isekai was to get back home. This is because isekai used to be shoujo, and girls have more sense than boys. But also because isekai were coming-of-age stories, and not escapist stories or redemption arcs. For those of you still hating on Rudeus and Mushoku Tensei, you forget that redemption arcs can only happen if the main character is a piece of garbage to begin with. But I always liked the idea of characters coming back to Earth with all of their powers intact. One of my favorite series is Aesthetica of a Rogue Hero. If the anime is too ecchi for you, then stay away from the light novel. The anime actually toned down the ecchi. But that's not the main draw to the series in my opinion. I love the idea behind this show, that kids who went to another world and returned with superpowers are put into a special school which then funnels them into the military-industrial complex. Because that's exactly what would happen on Earth. Do you really think any government would allow superpowered teenagers to run around? Of course not. They'd be given special treatment and praised to the high heavens until they eventually came under the thumb of the CIA or some other shady government entity. So let's take that concept a bit further. What if instead of one fantasy world that a bunch of kids go to, it was a bunch of different fantasy worlds instead? And not one god summoning potential heroes to another world while granting them special powers, but a pantheon of gods. Or goddesses. So if gods can summon heroes between the worlds, what's stopping demon kings from doing so as well? Welcome once again to Musings by Danon. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Danon. I'm currently reading over 600 manga and light novels, and my two favorite genres are fantasy and romance. So on this channel, we talk a lot about both of those genres, but we tend to look more into story structure and tropes rather than how cool the fight scenes are or how great the animation or artwork is. Which brings me to the subject of today's video. A hero trained by the most evil demon king is unrivaled in the Academy of Returnees from Another World. Before we get started, I'd like to quickly ask you to like and subscribe. It really does help the channel and it's free. With that out of the way, let's get into the video. Somewhere in Japan is a school where attendance is mandatory, but admission is by invitation only. Every member of the student body, and a few of the teachers, is a hero. Someone who was summoned to another world. You can consider this school quarantine. Every single person at this school has the power to save the world, and some have the power to completely destroy it. This country doesn't want hormonal teenage nuclear bombs walking around. They also don't want to be cruel to them. After all, you were heroes who saved the world. So you have two choices. Attend school here and follow the rules, or get your memories wiped and your powers sealed. But, trust me, I think you'll like this. The student representative summons a host of monsters. Some of the students freak out, but most leap to their feet, eager to fight again. After all, they spent years as heroes. Fighting is all they know, and they've been bored ever since they came back to Earth. But if you stick with it in this school, you'll get the chance to be sent to other worlds. Worlds that are still in danger, and don't have heroes strong enough to fight back against the demons. Well, what happens when heroes don't arrive in time? Legend tells of a demon lord of a lost world, someone who devoured thousands of worlds. Her homeworld became lost, split off from the world tree. Everything in that world died, even time. So when Kyoka was summoned by Felice, I'm not going to try to pronounce her full name, he didn't realize how much time he truly had. Felice trained Kyoka for 30,000 years, but only 3 years passed on Earth. He first learned how to fully control his body, then combat, then magic, then how to combine magic and combat. Every day he trained something new. At night, when he wasn't too exhausted, he would tell Felice stories from manga. She especially enjoyed hearing about Baki, but also stories about his life. Felice asked Kyoka about the cat he kept drawing. Kyoka explains that the cat never listened to anyone, and acted like a queen who took for granted all the love and care she received. And afterwards, she would just go and make a mess. But even so, she was precious to Kyoka, just like how Felice is. Wait, do you mean I'm like a cat, or that I'm precious to you? After an awkward pause with both of them blushing, Kyoka finally asks her why she destroyed all those worlds. The woman sitting next to him, laughing at his stories, blushing at compliments, doesn't seem like the type of person who would wantonly destroy thousands of worlds, ending the lives of billions of people. Felice was created to be a demon lord. Her soul is that of a demon lord, and the programming in her soul prevents her from killing herself. But one day, her mind suddenly glitched out. She attained self-awareness and was no longer a mindless killing machine. Does she feel guilty about the lives she took? The endless worlds she destroyed? Of course not. She's a demon lord. But she has grown bored of this existence. She wants it to end. This eternal prison. And after 30,000 years of training, Kyoka is finally ready to defeat her. Except, he doesn't defeat her. He defeats her demonic nature, which absolutely decimates her powers. In fact, she doesn't even have enough mana to maintain a human form. So instead, she'll have to be a black cat. Kyoka asks her to return to Earth with him. No more endless prison, just life. Let's live together. Felice agrees and they teleport back to Earth, only to be instantly surrounded by masked men holding out an ominous invite. An invite to the school. Okay, now you're all caught up with the backstory and we know who Kyoka and his cat/demon lord girlfriend are. Only, we skipped a couple things. First of all, Kyoka doesn't have a gift. He doesn't have any secret powers or special abilities, because only goddesses can grant powers when they summon heroes. Kyoka is unique because he was summoned by a demon king. Additionally, he's missing a certain mark, the Savior Crest. It is a mark given by the goddess to heroes who saved a world. In other words, when they kill a demon king. But Kyoka didn't kill the demon king, he saved her. So now he's in the low rank class with a bunch of other failures. So yes, this is one of those everyone thinks I'm weakest but I'm really the strongest series. But our main character isn't hiding his strength because he wants to live a quiet life or something. Rather, he's in the Dragon's Den. He's attending and living in a school full of heroes who hunt demon lords as an after-school activity, and he has a demon lord as a cat. How will Kyoka keep his head down and his beloved Felice alive? If you want to find out, you'll have to read the series for yourself. Unfortunately, there is no official release for this series as of yet. If that changes in the future, I'll try to remember to post a link below. Thanks for tuning in. Once again, a huge shout out to my editor Cute Stuff. I couldn't make these videos without her. If you'd like to hire her to edit your own videos, she can be reached at cutestuff.edits@gmail.com. Link is down below. If you're looking for ways to support the channel directly, you can head on over to patreon.com/Danon. There are several tiers to choose from. You can pick an anime or manga for me to do a video about, or you can join our monthly manga club. I also wanted to give a quick shout out to all of my patrons: Waffles, Jiraiya, Danny, Muffins, Marcus, Squishy, Brett, Roxy, Sean, Pob Zombie, Mark, Borgie, Nazwin, Pedro, Midge, Alex, Alex, Julio, Valeri, Kanga, Ignis, RJ, Aaron, Chris, Robert, Joel, and Brock. You guys are awesome. I post anime or manga videos often, or you can click here to watch additional videos. Again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all again next time on Musings by Danon.